Salutations, everybody. It is Matty here today with an Xbox news update. Here we go. It's all heating up now. This week, Xbox talked about their plan for the next 20 years for gaming. And it's a very interesting plan indeed, especially for old heads like me who run retro gaming channels and still collect physical video games. They're changing video games. That's what they're doing. And oftentimes, that's received as hyperbolic, but y'all know me. I stand my ground. I said this when Game Pass first was announced that Xbox is changing gaming. That absolutely became true, and they're doing it again here and today. We also have updates on Starfield to get into as things heat up for this Xbox Bethesda showcase. And I'll explain more of my thoughts on how Xbox is changing gaming as we go deeper into this video. And just so you know, sometimes that doesn't always mean a positive thing. It doesn't mean it's good for you that Xbox is changing gaming. It doesn't mean it's good for me either. But I think it is a dramatic shift from what we typically see and how we think about gaming in its future. So with that, if you're new here and you're into Xbox news and information, consider subscribing. We are about to go on a rampage in your subscriber boxes because of all the content we're going to produce during the Xbox Bethesda showcase. So keep an eye out for that. Let's start off with the first Xbox Wire post, which says Xbox is building the gaming platform for the next 20 years. We are bringing the Xbox app to Samsung 2022 smart TVs, expanding Xbox Cloud Gaming to more countries, bringing new gaming experiences to Microsoft Edge and Windows 11, rolling out updates for Xbox Game Pass members, and introducing more options to express yourself with the Xbox Design Lab. Let's start off with the top. Xbox gaming on your smart TV, no console required. We are bringing the Xbox app to Samsung smart TVs first, and our intent is to explore other TV partnerships as part of this next evolution in our vision. Jeez Louise, it feels like this is something we have talked about ad nauseum, and now it's like this officially locked in thing. Like this year, you're going to see it. And I find it quite interesting because you know where Xbox is heading. There's a reason why they're expanding your design of your controllers with the Design Lab at the same time as launching this initiative on your smart TVs, because they envision a future where the box is out of the picture. And I don't know, maybe I'm slow to grow up. I don't know if I'm ready for that. I like having my gaming console, but it's up to Xbox, just like all of these competitive gaming companies, to prove to me why I don't need the box. Why life without the box is the right life for me 10 years from now, maybe less than that. I do love the idea of it though. I think of travel, right? That's the biggest time I miss gaming, right? I can't bring my big console with me, but if internet gets to a point in time where the TV's hooked up onto the wall, we got the Xbox app, and all I gotta do is bring on the go with me my controller, that's a whole different story there. That does change things, and it makes Xbox an easier, accessible platform. That's how they're changing gaming. We all know the great price of Game Pass. I don't need to sit here and sound like a marketing arm to tell you the prices and the perks of it all. We all know how great Game Pass is. Now, when you buy that TV from Samsung, just like when I bought my Sony TV and it said ready for PlayStation 5 because I was very excited for my PS5, same thing with Xbox. When you buy that Samsung, it's going to say it comes with Game Pass, and now all you need is a controller to get all these games, and it shapes the vision for this showcase that Xbox is producing. That's the important perspective. They're not just dropping this now because they can. What they want you to do, clearly, is take a look at the showcase. You're going to see games like Starfield. You're going to see games like Redfall, whatever other surprises are in there, and go, huh, wow. And I won't need a console for that. It's, again, this unfathomable idea that they're trying to make a reality. And it's because they've been working on it for an extremely long time. That's why they're making it possible. And xCloud has come a long way. But it's a big bet on the Azure tech that they're building their whole future off of. They've built partnerships with even Sony over Azure tech. Now Sega to help them power their super game. Xbox is trying to lead the charge in services and cloud infrastructure in gaming because they believe that's where it's going. Now, they said they're not going to stop making consoles. They've said that in separate interviews within the last year or so. So that doesn't mean that when you see this news, that's all gone. But this is where they see things going. This is where they see people who are the average Joes getting access to their Call of Duties on Game Pass, right? I don't need to buy the console. I pay $15 a month. All my games are there. Thank you, Xbox. That's why Xbox talks player numbers, as we'll talk about with Starfield later on in this video. And overall, it's a really interesting time for video games to see Xbox go in this direction. I still love native, and maybe one day we'll get to a point where there won't be a difference between a native game played on a console because it's downloaded there versus the stream. But even nowadays, I can't imagine playing something like Halo Infinite streamed on my TV. It just seems insane. But Xbox looks to make that type of stuff possible, and it's a bold bet, but I think it's one that's respectable. And again, as an old head, I'll always still love my instruction manuals and my physical games because that's the day and age I come from. Let's move on to the next one. Updates on the Activision Blizzard deal here and Xbox's vision for the future of that. Obviously, Xbox is going to make more acquisitions after Activision. They kind of made that clear in these updated statements on what's going on with Activision Blizzard. And here's what Matt Booty, head of Xbox Game Studios, had to say about that. Speaking during a briefing for media, head of Xbox Game Studios Matt Booty addressed the issue of exclusives and tried to put fans' minds at ease about existing multi-platform games they might love outside of Xbox. Quote, if we acquire a game that comes with a big community, like Call of Duty, across a number of platforms, the last thing we want to do is take something away. If anything, we feel that it's our job to be caretakers, to be shepherds, to continue to build and nurture that community, not to cut it up into pieces and try to take some of it away, end quote. However, Summerford did make it clear that some games will be exclusive. These would be presumably brand new titles from Activision Blizzard developers rather than existing ones. The philosophy for how Xbox will look at Activision Blizzard games on Game Pass appears to be much more straightforward. Corporate Vice President Sarah Bond put it simply, quote, we want to put as many titles as possible from Activision Blizzard into Game Pass when they join us, end quote. Hey, fingers crossed, cross everything you got, ladies and gentlemen. Join me on this one. Please put like all the old back and pack games from Activision. That's like where they were great, like Marvel Ultimate Alliance, Singularity, those types of hidden gems in there. I hope they find a way to dig those up and put them in back and pat. They've made the message clear now that you get a big community, a Call of Duty, probably a Diablo, those types of games. They're not going to split those up and make those exclusive. But much like what we're seeing here with Bethesda, Starfield, new IP, Redfall, new IP, exclusive. That's the plan for Xbox. And I think it's one that you can't really fight with, especially when ahead of this, they're like, look how easily accessible we're trying to make gaming. Where if you are out there, the most diehard of PlayStation fans with a good internet, get the Smart TV app. Okay, you don't want to do that. You got a PC? Just get Game Pass. You don't got to buy the console. And I think one day the goal is to get Game Pass on the PlayStation and just unlock this world of potential that we never thought was possible. And I think that will be truly incredible. That will really break the walls down. But I think everyone is such in a competitive mindset currently where all these platforms are heading in different directions. Like PlayStation's finally realizing PC exists. I'd love to see them do day and date with their exclusives on PC. But otherwise, this is the expectation for future acquisitions from Xbox. They're not going to break up communities, but if it's brand new, as I said, we saw with Bethesda, they're going to make that exclusive. And that's what I said from the start. So this to me was relatively unsurprising, but a worthwhile update indeed. Now let's talk about Starfield. Todd Howard putting the final touches on this game with his team. Final touches? Didn't this game just get delayed to the first half in this vague, ambiguous window? Why are we talking final touches in June? I don't know, but let's read. So Todd Howard says here at the bottom, quote, we're putting the finishing touches on Starfield, which is an incredible opportunity for us, end quote. And then here's what Phil Spencer had to say about it, quote, Starfield for me is a unique opportunity. Todd Howard has been a friend for an awful long time. And the fact that Bethesda Game Studios is working on a new IP, which has been a long time coming, this will be a hallmark for us in the terms of the acquisition of ZeniMax, getting to work with Todd and bringing this game to market, end quote. Then, to wrap it up, he says, quote, I've seen a lot of this game. People are going to see more of it, and I love setting the goal of let's get more players for this game than in any other game, end quote. And I want to connect these stories here because it does directly tie into this next headline. Xbox is on track to release 5 first-party games in the next year. Microsoft notes in a media briefing that it released 5 new games across console, cloud, and PC in its current fiscal year. Microsoft Flight Simulator, Psychonauts 2, Age of Empires 4, Forza Horizon 5, and Halo Infinite. The company says, quote, we are on track to meet or exceed that amount in the next fiscal, running from July 1st, 2022 to June 30th, 2023. The date range would include both Redfall and Starfield, the article notes, which were recently delayed to the first half of 2023, but the other 3 or more games are currently unknown. Okay, so yes, Starfield seemingly is far along, as many of us expected, but when you got a significant delay like that, I thought to myself, well, you know, there's no way this is going to be something you're putting the final touches on, but according to them, they are. And it just shows how many of us are senselessly speculating at this point. We just need to see the game and come back down to earth, or maybe shoot up into the stars, whichever way you want to put it. But when you tie that with this story here on how Xbox is on track to launch 5 first-party games in the next year, this is an answer many Bethesda fans and Xbox fans have been looking for a while from this team. You know, you think about the huge drought this year and the delays, the expectations that are there. And now Xbox is shaping up to launch a number of first-party games. The question is, of course, will it be the exciting ones? And by that, I mean, I am personally excited for something like Pentiment. But is the rest of the mass market excited to see Josh Sawyer's 12-man team work on a Disco Elysium-style RPG? I mean, certainly I'd love that reality, but I don't think so. So just keep in mind what first party means. Obsidian is first party. They would be releasing a game. This would fit that category. This would fit that mold. However, when you include that with Starfield and that with Redfall, that's 3. And I feel like then they could start to pile on and exceed it. We got to talk about Avowed. Let's get the rating out of the way. This has got to be at the show. This has got to be at the show. And it gets me into one of my bold predictions. This will come out this year. One you could throw out there as well is Forza Motorsport. Another that's been heavily rumored is the Gears collection. That's 5. And I feel like there's still so many rumors of other games. Contraband, rumored to be in the first half of 2023 as well. Avowed, rumored to be ready then as well. What games need more polish? What games need more time? That's how things can stagger and fall out of those windows. But I kind of believe it. Everything's coming to a head now where it's frustrating those delays occurred for Bethesda. But now Xbox is getting to the point where they're going to have an explosion of games, which I've said in a multitude of videos, will provide its own problems. You got to sell all of these, and if you're trying to sell a bunch of $70 games among other third-party $70 games all at once, it's going to become competitive, and someone somewhere is going to lose out, and especially like Redfall, a game that I think really needs to succeed. You need to have a good one here for Arcane, not just on a critical level. We saw what happened with Deathloop, but on a sales level. We need them to have a commercial success, one that really thrives. And I don't know if we'll ever find that out because Microsoft focuses on player count. But again, when you stack all these releases, I think it can present its own problem for both consumers and company. So we'll see how it all shakes out. But Starfield, final touches, 5 games by June 30th, 2023. It's a really interesting time for this company. It's an interesting time to watch them. It's an exciting future for them. The entire Microsoft executive layer is in on Xbox, which is something we've never seen in their history. So that's why I'm saying Xbox is changing gaming. They have more money, more buy-in than ever before, and now they're bringing Game Pass to TVs. It's a really crazy time, and it's going to take some time to really wrap our head around things. But for now, we will wait and see what Xbox has in store for us with this showcase. So let me know what you're thinking in the comments down below about what Xbox has brought to the table for us. Other than that, be sure to follow me on Twitter, follow me on Instagram. Those links are in the description down below. And a big thank you to all the patrons, all the members who continue to support the hell out of the content here. Stay sexy, stay active. I love you all. Peace.